Hello, everyone. Welcome back to 3 News Now. I'm Stephanie Haney. It's Wednesday, August 12th. This is your afternoon update with the top stories from WKYC.com and our WKYC app. I appreciate you being here with us to get caught up on everything you need to know here in Northeast Ohio and what's impacting you. First up, we'll start off with the new COVID-19 numbers from the Ohio Department of Health, and we saw the largest increase in new day-to-day reported cases today since July 31st. We'll break that all down for you. But we will tell you about a brand new nasal spray out of a school in California that could potentially help stop COVID-19. Very interesting science happening there. We'll also tell you what LeBron James had to say about former Vice President Joe Biden selecting Senator Kamala Harris as his running mate for the 2020 presidential election. Too many 20s there, one too many. And we'll let you know about the Cleveland Browns streaming their training camp. That is starting on Friday, so you might not be able to be there in person, but you can definitely still see what's going on in Berea this week. Plus, we'll talk about the fact that DUNKIN is bringing back the pumpkin spice latte earlier than ever. We'll let you know when you can get in on that, and we'll share a little bit of insight for you from my own personal life on being a middle child and how you can tell if you happen to be dealing with a middle child, because today is National Middle Child Day. First up, we will cover those latest numbers from the COVID-19 reports from the Ohio Department of Health to get us started here. Now, today, new daily reported cases are way up, but deaths are down from yesterday, though they are still in the double digits for new daily reported deaths. However, new hospitalizations and new ICU admissions are also up over the last 24 hours. In the last 24 hours, we've seen 1,422 new reported cases of COVID-19. Now, this does not mean that there have been 1,422 new positive tests administered in the last 24 hours, but this is the lag in reporting. So this is how many have been reported to the Ohio Department of Health within the last 24 hours. That is the largest daily increase since July 31st. And throughout the month of July, we saw a lot of high numbers throughout that month. That brings the total number of cases that we know about of COVID-19 in the state of Ohio dating all the way back to March 9th to 104,248. Now, the Ohio Department of Health has reported that they believe about 79% of those cases are presumed to be recovered. So that's a total of 82,310 COVID-19 cases they do believe to be recovered from at this point. That means about 21% of those are assumed to be active right now. In the last 24 hours, we also saw 26 new deaths reported related to COVID-19. That brings the total number of deaths in Ohio to now 3,734. We do still have some good news related to the positivity rating here in Ohio. It is up just 0.1% from yesterday, but it is still below the 5% recommended threshold from the World Health Organization. For all of the tests that are being done for COVID-19 here in Ohio, the latest positivity rating is 4.6%. So that means for all of those tests being done, 4.6% of them are coming back positive right now. We did see an increase in new hospitalizations yesterday with 141 new hospitalizations reported in the last 24 hours. However, slightly less people are currently hospitalized. Right now, there are a total of 984 people currently hospitalized, according to the Ohio Department of Health. So that means for all of those new cases, there were just a few more that have been discharged from the hospital, according to the Ohio Department of Health. The total number hospitalized right now is 984, and the total number of those people who are in the ICU is 320, which is also down from yesterday. So that is about 32.5% of everyone who's in the hospital right now is getting treatment in the intensive care unit. We saw 22 new ICU admissions, which is also up by 3 from yesterday, bringing the total number of people who have gotten treatment in the intensive care unit related to COVID-19 here in Ohio to now 2,721. Taking a look at our hospital bed occupancy rate, 76% of our hospital beds are currently in use. So that means 24% of our hospital beds are available for people who need that for COVID-19 or for other things that they are being treated for right now in the state of Ohio. Now let's take a look at the U.S. and the global numbers for COVID-19. These come from Johns Hopkins University. In the U.S., there are now a total of 5,171,343 reported cases of COVID-19 and a total of 165,328 deaths. That's more than 1,200 new deaths in the last 24 hours across the U.S. Now, in the U.S., compared to globally, we have about 4.25% of the world population, and we have about 25% of the known COVID-19 cases and about 22% of the known deaths related to COVID-19. Those global numbers for COVID-19 are just shy of 20.5 million cases right now, and the total number of deaths related to COVID-19 globally is now 744,733. Now, after all of that, we do have some new exciting science to tell you about. Scientists have developed a nasal spray that they say could help prevent COVID-19. This is coming out of the University of California at San Francisco. So these scientists have engineered a synthetic molecule that they say could be more effective than PPE. They say this could be more effective than the masks and the face shields and those things. Now, the way this works, according to the scientists, is this molecule binds to the part of COVID-19 that makes it unable to attach in our bodies. So they say to think of this as like a pen cap. It stops COVID-19 from penetrating into our cells and infecting us with the virus. So they are calling this aeronabs. That's what they've named this molecule, and they say that it can be self-administered through a nasal spray or an inhaler. So effectively what this would do is it would coat the COVID-19 and prevent it from being able to get into our bodies. So UCSF is now in active discussions with commercial partners to ramp up manufacturing and clinical testing of these aeronabs. So if the tests are successful, scientists hope to make this widely available as an inexpensive, over-the-counter medication to prevent and treat COVID-19. We will definitely be following that. That sounds like some very exciting science if that proves to be successful. That sounds like a game changer. So you can read more about that on WKYC.com and in our WKYC app. Speaking about politics, LeBron James has said what he has to say about former Vice President Joe Biden selecting Senator Kamala Harris as his running mate for the 2020 presidential campaign. Here's what he posted. He said, "Congrats and well-deserved, Senator Kamala Harris. Love to see and support it. Appreciate you, JB." That JB was a reference to Joe Biden. Now, LeBron James was a strong supporter of Hillary Clinton's campaign in 2016, and he appeared with her at a rally at Cleveland's Public Hall. So not a surprise there that he is supporting the Democratic ticket as well this time around. And he's also been very outspoken about fighting against systemic racism and fighting for racial justice, which is something that Kamala Harris has spoken about quite a bit. Speaking about football now, a different sport, Cleveland Browns has announced the Browns Live training camp schedule. So there will be a live show. It will be called Browns Live Training Camp. This Friday, Cleveland Browns will take the practice field in Berea, the Browns headquarters, for the first time this summer. So they've been back there, but they haven't been on the field necessarily practicing together, but they will be live streaming it. Browns Live Training Camp will be hosted by Nathan Zagora. He is the senior broadcaster for the Cleveland Browns organization and also former Browns kick returner Joshua Cribbs. So on the show, they will break down everything that happens on the Berea practice fields every day, and they will also have interviews with special Browns guests each day. So the show will start at 2 p.m. each day it airs. Now, it will air most days from Friday. There are only a handful of days that it won't air between now and September 4th. September 4th, of course, is the Friday before they start getting kicked off for the hopeful start of the 2020 NFL season. You'll be able to find Browns Live Training Camp on the Browns website, on their mobile app, on their YouTube channel, on their Twitter, and their Facebook pages. Of course, we have links to all of that on WKYC.com and in our WKYC app. And if everything goes as planned for the NFL, the Cleveland Browns are supposed to kick off their season against the Baltimore Ravens away on September 13th. So fingers crossed that that is able to happen safely and effectively for the NFL. Here's something that is coming sooner than later, whether you want it to or not. Dunkin' Donuts is bringing back the pumpkin spice latte next week in the middle of August. 1 week from today, next Wednesday, Dunkin' will be launching its fall season menu. This is earlier than they've ever done this. So Jill Nelson, the vice president of marketing strategy at Dunkin', says that This is one of the most anticipated times of the year for Dunkin' guests, and they're excited to make pumpkin favorites available at Dunkin' restaurants earlier than ever. Pretty early. August 19th. Yeah, that's pretty quick. So some of the things that will be coming out with their new fall menu are a brand new signature pumpkin spice latte, pumpkin flavored coffees that includes K-cup pods and packaged coffee, a new chai latte, a new maple sugar seasoned snack and bacon, and a maple sugar bacon breakfast sandwich. I don't even eat bacon, but that actually sounds good. They also have an apple cider donut and a pumpkin donut and a muffin coming out. So here's what we want to know from you. We want to know if it's too soon for the pumpkin spice latte and the fall menu to be coming out next week. We've posted a poll on Twitter. You can find that on the WKYC Twitter page. The Twitter handle for WKYC is WKYC3 on Twitter. I've also retweeted it, so you can find it at _Stephanie Haney as well. And you can vote at WKYC.com/vote now. So let us know what you think about that, if it's too soon for the pumpkin spice latte. Today, not next week, but today, August 12th, is National Middle Child Day. So in honor of that, I revived a post that I wrote a while ago about some telltale signs that you can know if someone is a middle child, or some things that you might relate to if you are a middle child. So if you're dealing with someone and you think, maybe they're a middle child and for some reason you don't want to ask, these things can help maybe confirm your suspicions or help you better understand the middle child in your life. So, as someone who has decades of experience as a middle child, shout out to my older brother Jason and my little brother Matt Haney, here are just a couple little personality traits that might raise a red flag to you. Not a red flag, but raise a flag to you that you might be dealing with a middle child. A middle child can come off as relatively carefree. That's because they don't have to live up to that extra pressure of being the first kid to do anything, so no pressure to do it perfectly. And also, they don't have to live up to the pressure of being the last chance at anything if you have parents with high expectations. So the middle child might at least come off as relatively carefree. Number 2. Because of that low pressure situation where nobody's necessarily on your back all the time, the middle child might be a little bit starved for attention. So if someone is going out of their way to catch your eye, if someone is going above and beyond, it's a good chance that person might be a middle child. And number 3, because they are the bridge between the older and the younger siblings, the middle child is constantly in the know because they're getting information from all sides here, and the middle child kind of flies under the radar. So I will tell you this, the middle child is always in on the good family gossip. Those are just a couple of lessons from my life as a middle child. If you want to check out the rest of them, we have that linked on WKYC.com and in our WKYC app. That's it for 3 News Now today for Wednesday, August 12th. I'll see you next at 5 p.m. on What's New with your trending stories in the Clicking in Cleveland segment. By the way, you can watch that on the WKYC app. Just tap on Watch at the bottom and you'll see it right there. Super easy. Everyone enjoy the rest of your afternoon, and I'll see you back here tomorrow for 3 News Now. I'm Stephanie Haney.